Hi there, we are online. All right, so today there is the transmission live about Peru, the number 1. Okay, I already started. I have some videos about Peru, and I think 2 of them are in English and the rest if it is in Polish, and they are on my YouTube channel. Like down there in the description I will put all the links, so if you are interested you can go over there. And I was presenting over there the huge perspective like about Peru and where is Peru in the whole world. Now let's be more specific, and today I will be talking about people of Peru, and maybe in general also Latinos. All right, so let's look at that, and beware, I'm talking from the philosophical. It will be very specific sometimes, but I'm mainly talking from the philosophical or even esoteric perspective. All right, I'm JOANNA, CHOŁUJ, I'm Polish, and I'm a Wiedma in Peru, and Wiedma just means a sage woman. Sometimes it's translated into witch, but it's not exactly that. I'm everything that I do, I help people mainly going out of the matrix and becoming free. I also write books, but mostly I want to invite you to my workshop. It will be a mystical workshop in Peru, and the plan is to do it in August or September. Now there are some problems, so let's see. Anyway, watch me, observe, so to get more information, right? The update. All right. All the information will be in description, and my website is frommatrixtoself.com. All right. So to the topic, and I need some yerba mate, which is not Peruvian, it's from Argentina. People here don't really drink. They drink mate, but they call it yerba generally, and yerba will mean mainly just anything to drink which is made of yerba, so made of herbs. Yeah, but about food I will be talking in another time, right? Another Wednesday. All Wednesdays, every Wednesday, I will be talking about Peru in English. If you can speak English but you also are Polish, come on Tuesday and subscribe to my channel, to Facebook, and observe me. And if you prefer YouTube, when I finish this transmission, I will immediately put it on YouTube, so you will have it quickly. And the information about it you will get also in your Instagram. You can, if you observe me. All right. People. Yeah. I think we should start from that. That point of view, that there is a difference. And I don't know what are your views, what are your point of view, but my point of view is philosophical and esoterical, and there is a difference between people who are living in Europe, and I'm talking about whites, and there is a mentality difference and also the genetic difference between people who live in another parts of the world. Now, I'm simply talking about the thing that white people are different from natives, and natives I'm talking about, for example, those Indios, how they say here, so Indians, and those are natives, right? Indigenous people here in both Americas, but also when we talk about people from Africa or from Asia, Oceania, or aborigines from Australia, I think they have something in common. I will not talk much about it because I already talked about it in another transmission. Maybe I will put a link here. But there is this difference, that this is the difference, like depending on the energy, you have a little different attitude towards life. So and there's no judgment. I'm just stating facts, and that's positive. I just think that native people, they are just very much connected to the earth, which is perfect. That's perfect, because native people, so Latinos as well, right? Indios, Indians, but that's a mistake, right? But basically, native people are very connected to the nature, to Mother Earth, and they just cherish it. And I would say that they are really the true Earth people. I just think that Earth belongs to them. So when I look at Latinos, they are just perfectly connected to the Earth, and they are in this life cycle of nature, and they are very connected to that. And in the sense that we also have that, if you look, for example, at people who live in Poland, but in the east, right? Like Podlasie, or more like, I'm not saying all the people of Russia or Belarus, but if you go to Siberia, and for example, you are thinking like, who lives there? Those are native people of Asia, North. And in fact, genetically speaking, they are people from the haplogroup Q, and those are the same that live in both Americas, right? So they are genetically the same. I'm not talking that, I'm not saying that all people, native people, have the same genetics. I'm talking about energy, and I think just that they are more in a yin energy, in a feminine energy. That doesn't mean exactly that those men, for example, that they are more exactly feminine. That's not exactly that, but I'm just saying that they are all in that energy of cycle of Mother Earth, in the sense they are more traditional, they are more connected to nature, they just feel the nature better than white people, and they are just more in those cycles, and they are more connected to everything which is very sensual. So they are, so they just love food, they just express their everything from their body more. And it's not because many people say that Latinos are so going with the heart. That's not exactly heart. I think that heart is more pronounced with white people, but they just kind of let themselves express their authenticity from the part of the body. That's why I think that you look at Latinos and you say, oh, they are so sensual, sexual, so much in their body. That's not only Latinos, I want to say, and there are some differences in different South America countries. I will talk about it in a moment about Peru, but there is one general, you can generally say that all native people, they are very much sensual, and I think I would even say sexual, in the sense that they are kind of open. And that's the same about, for example, people of Africa who are just openly sometimes naked, right? For us, white people, women with their breast, and that's fine, because they've got like such a natural acceptance of their body, and they are very well in their body. They just don't, okay, look at women, not only Latinos, but I would say all native women, unless there's some indoctrination, but they are all with their shapes, and all men like that, and everybody likes that. Those women still think that that's a perfect female shape, right? That you've got a lot of body, and that you've got that bottom, right? And it's good to show it. because it is good to show it, right? You don't need to be obscene, but they just kind of like to show their body. That's why you've got, for example, this festival, carnival, coming from carne, which is meat, right? Which is body. So carnival is the time when they show the body, and they just it's all about fertility, right? It's all about creation, and it's all about, I would say, Mother Earth. And in Brazil, for example, you've got those festivities, right? You've got those carnivals when they are kinda naked, right? They just, for us white people, they are very much, yeah, this is the disguise. You've got those costumes, but you must say that there are lots of, for a moment I'm talking, this is neutral, right? So I'm saying this is a part of them that's very profound in them. They are just connected to the matter, to senses. They feel the world like that. They just, the body is something natural, and the cycles of body are very natural. So, for example, those people here, they just also accept the death, for example, as something kind of normal. And I'm not saying that they don't get sad or something, but for example, when you see the death of some animal, or even a member of a family, they kind of accept it more likely than white people. What I'm saying is that native people in general, and Latinos as well, they are just closer to the nature, to the cycles of nature. I would even say that they don't have so much fear of death than people from the north, for example, or people from from Europe, who are more in civilization. And kinda, you could say that there are problems also with that, right? So I would sometimes say that those people, they've got tendency to not want so much to enter into the civilization, and we'll talk about it in different lives. And so the consciousness, I would say, is lower, but the consciousness in the sense of what's going on in the world, everything which is connected to the spiritual stuff, and just they are more religious still, but they are much more conscious of their body, of the cycle of nature, than white people. And white people, people of Europe, we are much more connected to everything which is mentality, mental spirituality as well, but there is also the idea of civilization. So I would say that the order is, for those people, native people, nature is more important than civilization. And for Europeans, the civilization is much more important or better than nature. And that's the conflict as well between those two mentalities. You need to understand that, all right? Now, okay, Latinos. Latinos are just, I think many people know Latino people. Well, Latino comes from the Latium, Latino. They just don't like that term. You need to say, some people say that Latino, we shouldn't say Latino. Why are we Latinos if Latino people live in Italy? All right. But Latino is for the languages of South America, meaning those are languages, Portuguese and Spanish, that came from Latin. Okay, we can say that it's true. But Latino people, what I wanted to say, that they are kind of, you know them better, I would say, because they, at some point, they enter the cinema, and there are stereotypes, right? Latino woman and Latino men. So normally you would say, if somebody tells you that they are macho, who's macho? Macho normally is the Latino man. And I think I will talk about it more in the next live, where I will talk about couples and also mixed couples, how it works. But for the moment, I would like to say that according to me and my observations and my philosophical studies and energetic studies, and also my observation, I'm in a marriage with a Peruvian man, so he's a Latino, but he also has the white ground, because his great-grandfather was white and light eyes and so on, so he's mixed in that sense, but he's a Latino, true. So I have something to say from that personal point of view, right? My observation is that those people are very much in feminine energy, and that, to me, that means that they are, what I said, connected to this feminine energy of the cosmos, the universe, of Mother Earth, of nature. And this is also connected to some territories, I would say, because that's, for me, that's clear. That's when you've got this central part of planet Earth, that's where it's very hot. that's one big point. To be, how to say, kind of relaxed and in yin feminine energy, because you are not in a hurry. A woman naturally is not in a hurry and should not be. And feminine energy is not in a hurry, because it works all the time and doesn't have any agenda, right? Doesn't have any plan to do, like masculine energy does. So those people, I would say, from the middle part of the earth, central part, and there is also the and more, right, more down to the south. I would say those people are just very much native and very much their character is like relaxed, you would say. But there are also those qualities that they are very much traditional, very much connected to everything which is family. So everybody here, what you will, I would say that family is very much important. And what you need to say is the mother position or mother archetype, Pachamama, is just very, very much important. And it's not only here. I would say in Africa, or maybe from Aboriginal people, I don't know so much, but for Indians from the North America, it's like that. The traditions are important. Mother Earth is important, and every woman is the archetype of Mother Earth. So the mother archetype is very much important. So that goes to say that those men cherish their mother very much, which makes them a little bit, I would say, forever sons of their mother. That's why there is that conflict, that they are very much connected to the mother, to the family, their origin family, much more than Europeans. That makes them much more kind of in conflict when they get married. But I will talk about it later, about relationships. Let's talk later. But it's the truth, and this is very profound. That's not something toxic, like you say, can be, but there's a big difference, I would say, between a white man and a native man, or you can say a black man, right? But basically native, indigenous people, because that's what I said. They are native people, people of the earth. They are much connected to the earth, and there's the aspect archetype of the mother, and this is important. So they kind of sooner or later, when they get married, they will treat their woman, their wife, as a mother, archetype of mother, and that will be, and when she gets children, that will be very much important. And he sometimes will talk to her like to the mother, mommy will say. And this is so pronounced here in Peru, and I've heard that in all South America, then they talk to you, mommy, mamita, which is like small, little mom, right? And they talk to you and talk to us, white women as well, and we are not accustomed to that. In Polish, for example, we say seniora, right? So pani, and that's, everybody speaks like that, senior, seniora, pan, pani, not senorita. If somebody in Poland will talk to you like senorita, that's lack of respect. If somebody will tell you mom, mami, mamusia at the street, that's a lack of respect. Oh, horrible. And yeah, you can have problems with that, with Polish women. But when we come here, so we just kind of tend to correct those people. And I did that when I came here. I was correcting in the bus. I was saying, I'm a mother, but you don't have any right to talk to me like that. That's a lack of respect. And they never understood what I want from them, because it's so widespread. Just and you can be very young, a young woman, maybe in your 30s, and you might not have children. It doesn't interest them, but yet they will tell you that. Only if you are really young, a schoolgirl, or then you are really young, like in teenager or maybe 20, they will not tell you mommy, maybe they will tell you señorita. All right. Or if you are a man, to a man, they also say papi, which is father, is it daddy, right? As well, right? If you are like 40 or 30, yeah, you are papi, you are mommy, you are papi. And to me, that's a lack of respect. But I understood that to them, it's not. In fact, they kind of respect you with that, because it's, for them, it's the archetype, that archetype of mother, father, but mostly mother. It's the highest can be. Surely it's more than for example, a kind of sensual woman, and more than yeah, I mean, that's the true goddess. It's the goddess mother, right? Not Deva, JOANNA, this Venus. No, the Venus for them. Look, surely you've heard about Maria Gimbutas, who was studying the culture of all the Europeans, you say. However, I think they were white, but they were not really natives. But yeah, there was this culture, matriarchal culture, in Europe and Asia, and I think that was the culture of from Asia, Siberia. What we've got still, we've got that in the East Europe and some east part of Poland and in Ukraine. It's the culture of kind of like native. That's very much traditional, attached to everything which is nature, shamanism, because there are different types of shamanism from different regions, but they are all connected. Shamanism is connected to the yin energy, which is feminine energy, which is connected to those people, indigenous native people. And so you can say that shaman is from Siberia, shaman is from Australia, Aborigine, from Africa, from two Americas, are connected through that energy. And Latino people and Peruvian people are very much connected to that. Okay, I know that they are here in Peru. We've got many cultures and so on, but basic cultures which are native cultures, this Huanca, how they say, people who speak Quechua, in my opinion, I know that I'm not going right now to talk about history, archaeology, and so about Incas. Maybe I will talk about it later, but to me, Incas are white people. They were white people, probably connected to some ancient civilizations, and I'm connecting them to white civilization connected to Arya. But that's the topic which is controversial. I'm not going to talk about that now. But the Incas kind of were and disappeared, and the same goes, for example, with great grandfathers of my husband and many others. The same goes even with people who have Hispanic genetics in their families. They kind of came and disappeared, right? More or less. I know they are over there. You've got last names from Hispanic people, for example, from Spain, but most pronounced and kind of basic and kind of, I would say, all South America is all about native people and native energy. Because, how to say, here, it's in some epochs came those white people, and here, that's what I'm talking. I would say Arya, Inca, maybe some other ancient civilization. We don't really know who were them, who built the basic structure in, for example, around Cusco. But we can say that most energy in South America, it's the native energy. So those are those people which we call Latinos, but I say that they are connected to Mother Earth, Pachamama, and they are just in yin, feminine energy, and you can see it. And it's not so visible in North America, for example. Why? Because into North America came so many white people and other people from Europe that kind of native people were just smashed, right? You can say that. And they were just put to limits, and they just live right now in those reserves, right? Those parks. Or they live among white people, but basically their energy is not so strong as in South America. So people of Peru, they are Latinos, you can say, but Peru, I would say that Peru is the heart of South America, but also it's very much different. And you cannot talk about people and energy without talking about the territory. I will talk more about the territory, but now I will just tell you that Peru has those three parts, which not each country has three parts, the territorial parts in South America. And Peru has Andes, high mountains, which is called Sierra, and those people are special, and they are different. And there are those extreme parts, which is Costa, which is the coast, ocean coast, and then there is Selva, which is the jungle, right? Amazonian. And those, it makes for three types of people, but I would say they are all very much native, basically. Yes, there are some also white people, but the thing is that, like in North America, white people are, they just live how they want, and they just made another second Europe, you can say, right? And it's more or less like that in Australia. But look carefully. In Australia, most of the land is still indigenous. It's still for native people, and white people just live in the coast. So the Australia is a case, a very special case. But in the South America, white people live in enclave, right? In enclaves. They live in some places where only white people or only educated people, but basically they are white, from Europe and from North America. They came here, they live here. They also got married, and I will talk about mixed couples and how it works, more or less. But you need to understand that all the territories like South America or Africa, even Australia, there is a big separation, right? So they are in big contrasts. And you need to say that white people, whitish, or they are in minority. So they live kind of on the coast, mainly coast, like in Australia, coast, and in South America also, you can say it's the coast, right? And all the rest of the land, it's all the land of Pachamama and native people, and mostly I would say Amazon forest, and even that territory where there are cities, right? In selva, in the jungle, you don't have the jungle in the city, but the energy is the same, this native energy. Now, so in the coast, you've got lots of white people, and also Spanish descendants are living over there, right? Now, you can say that they are more whitish and so on, but it's not about judging. I'm just telling you about energy, how it works, because there is a huge difference between cities at the coast, especially, and in Peru as well, and the provincial territories, right? So that's how it is. And those people, native people, and so Peruvians, which are the basic, they are from Andes or Huancavelica, all which is like HU starts like this: Huancayo, Huancavelica, Huantan. It's also it's called, sometimes you spell it with H, sometimes with W, but it makes for W, Huanca. Those are very native territories, and I would say that those are like not only pre-Columbus America, but it's also pre-Incas, and I think it goes very, very deep. And all those native people are, I think there are studies that kind of almost all genetics from both Americas are, that's haplogroup Q. And so the same that people like Turco-Mongolish in Asia, right? And Siberian people. Of course, there are others, but I'm saying they are indigenous, they are more or less this genetics, and those are native people, and they are in this feminine energy. And what that means, I said that they are very much connected to the earth, they are very much adapted to the earth, they are also in some kind of cycle, natural cycle, and they just don't, that's what I say, they are conscious in the sense, because you cannot say, oh, native people, they have no consciousness, because I've heard that. Depends what you say, what you mean, right? Because if you want to say that, do they know what's going on in the earth, on the earth, and do they, for example, are spiritually conscious? That depends what you want to say, right? Because white people are more in the mentality, which is connected to the spirituality, which is connected to the heaven, right? And to the sense of cosmic energy. Yes, and we are just trying to be more and more adapted and be cherish more, which we don't do naturally, because we want to control everything, and that's the quality of white people, that's clear. And we just want to be more relaxed and more in the nature cycle of nature. And those people are very conscious, but of their body, and they are not so likely. To be how to say. They don't have that shame. They are not so shamed. They are open sexually, sensually, and they show their body. And it's not always to seduce. They just are natural. And they know that body is connected to the earth, simply, and to nature, and to just that, right? And they are naturally materialistic as well. It can go in the bad way. Yes, I will talk about black magic and so on later on. But they are kind of naturally. That's why I say the heart of white people is like heart we have here, right? But the heart of Polish people, white people is more like here, and their heart is more like there in the stomach, I would say. It's interesting, really. But those people are Peruvian people. I know Mexicans, Argentinians. I don't from Chile. I don't know everybody. But they are natives, and they are in the sense conscious of their body and of this Mother Earth energy of the cycle, and they are just more accepting. But that also makes them, yes, they are less open to the world, because they are kind of like a feminine energy, yin energy. They are more in a locality, what is around me, what is close to me. That's my interest is there. So they are, and that doesn't mean that they are not educated. They are, but they are not just sucked so much in everything which is going on in the world and so on, just like we are, I would say. So they are not so globalistic, and they are so deep in the ground. Like I live in Andes, right? In Yauyos, Andes, 6 hours from Lima. And I don't think so that all that agenda of destroying the money really, the monedas, will go so fast and quickly here. Because here, for example, I cannot even use my tarjeta, my card, my debit or credit card. I cannot, because nobody has the machine for that, right? And everything is based in money in the sense sencillo. So the coins, right? Coins and papers. And that's they are just very much materialistic, and in the sense also, in that simple sense that I'm not judging, and I'm just saying the difference. White people, because everything can go too much to the good or to the bad, right? Depends. You need to keep the balance. But there are some qualities, and each quality, in fact, has its light part and shade part. And for example, white people with their they had that still have, right, that they wanted to help other people. Like they just always want to help, but just that help sometimes means that we know better, and that's from there started all the imperialism, like, and the control, like, because we will give you just like in those videos that you probably can see online, that white people comes to the native people, to Indians, and say, we will give you the civilization, we will help you, we'll pay you money, you will be commodo, you will be fine, you will be in your luxus, right? And they were saying, but I've got all I want, right? I don't need my land, all the land is mine, and to ours, it belongs to ours, right? To us all. So the mentality is different, and you can say that white people just wanted to give this civilization, and everybody knows the story, I think, that about Incas who came and wanted to give some more civilization. Yes, truly, canals and all that. I think that Inca did a lot of that. Probably some stuff was already there, done by ancient civilizations. Let's not talk about who did it for a moment, but because those people were in the cycle, and they are in the cycle in the sense that I'm happy with status quo, I'm happy with what I have, why would I change it? And before they change whatever, they just will think and think and think, and you will have reunions, and right, so they would just think about it before they change anything. and it's yeah, and they will not just sometimes. Okay, I will tell you the story from. They just kind of in the cycle of every day also, which is the natural cycle. That's the yin energy, right? That why would you bother what was in the past or what will be in the future? They are perfectly from the nature, from being from the birth. They are just in the now and here and now, right? They just bother only about this day, today, from the sunrise to the sunset, mostly, right? So it can be good or bad, because then also when they start their business, they don't really like, they like the small activities, small empresas, small businesses. They don't, not many people like and do big businesses. There are lots, right? But they are, well, depending, right? Also monopolism came here, which is not so good for those people, for nobody, but right. Anyway, they are like that, so they don't really do big business plans. They don't really have the vision, the big vision. Some people learn that, yes, but mostly what you've got the improvisation, right? And the small businesses, and they kind of, sometimes they just, they like to buy things in big quantities because it's cheaper, and they are all about money, counting and so on. So if it's cheaper, it's better. So they sometimes buy a lot, but the thing is they don't really have lots of plans how they will use it. If they will use it, they don't have that plan, right? So when you go, and I will tell you that more about food, be careful where you eat, in what restaurant. Be careful what you buy, especially in the provincia. You need to see the date, expiry date. Always check it. Sometimes when you see it's just wiped out. You don't have a date, right? And like normally I would say, don't go to supermarkets. Sometimes if you are in South America and you don't know, sometimes it's safer to go to the supermarket, because over there always you have the proper date, right? And you will know that it didn't expire. And when you buy something without the date, like, I don't know, cakes, for example, I was buying, and it was from the big cake, and the senior, the owner, had lots of cakes, and he had like 5 or 10, I don't know, and he was opening the new packet, right? But I didn't check the date, but I wanted a piece of that, and I was looking at that. He gave me, oh yeah, and it was chocolate cake, and I was looking, what is that green stuff here? And I kind of touched, and I said, no, but that's the how do you say in I don't know, that it was not good anymore, right? So you need to be careful. But basically they are, yeah, you need to be careful with that, because we are not so much careful with that. Okay, that's what everything with what you don't check in Europe, because you kind of know that surely nobody will sell me something which is expired or which is not good anymore, because we've got so much control, right? There is some institution which controls that all the stores are correct, that they don't sell you bad stuff. We've got lots of right? Chemistry. We've got lots of chemical products, so sometimes they just don't get bad. So that's another aspect. But surely nobody will sell you nothing which is just not good anymore because of the date, right? But here you need to check. But another aspect, but I will talk about food in another live, which is very positive. It's that they are so much in that day, in this one cycle, very close to your body cycle, that normally when you go to the restaurants, to the bars and so on, which are very much like a family family food, because some people just cook a little more and make a small restaurant, and you will have everything fresh normally, because they don't serve twice the same food. They just give it to animals, and so every day you will have the fresh stuff, and this is very positive, because they are here and now, naturally here and now. They just, for themselves, they just don't like to eat what is from other day. But yeah, be careful, because they also cheat. Yeah, but let's talk a little bit about that energy. I think that Peru is special because it has got those 3 zones, 3 territories, and Andes are special because people here are they are very, I would say, hard workers. And let's talk a little bit about men and women, because we say that Latinos are so macho, and what does it mean really? I think that all macho and that Latino woman that's a stereotypes. That's in the cinema, and I would say American cinema pronounced and put those stereotypes for Spanish or Latino people, and even those people from South America, they just don't like it normally. I think there was some songs as well about that, and some actresses were talking about that, but because it's like generalization, right? And what you need to say, yeah, I would say, and that some people may not be happy when I will talk about that, but I just say from the philosophical point of view, if those people are natives, okay, Latinos, let's talk about Latinos, they are natives, then they are in feminine energy, all of them, because they are very much in energy of nature, and this is the south part of planet, so it's very much the part of yin, feminine energy working. This is the territory, much more than the north, the part of Europe. So listen, if everybody, men and women, are in this yin energy, feminine energy, that makes a specific, that works specifically between men and women here. I would say that this energy, feminine energy, it's in elements, this is the water and earth, which makes people connected very much to the emotions, which is sensuality, but emotions, relations, they are very traditional, they are very familiar, okay, in family, connected, traditions, and so on, to their territory, patriotic, and so on, locally patriotic, and that's all about water. And they are very much emotional. I would say that Latinos, men as well, are very much more emotional than naturally white people. I know with the agenda of feminism and a feminized man, it's a little upside down. But mainly those people, they are very much more emotional, I would say, native people, than white people. And they are, in the sense, they are also, there's much love, much joy, much more direct, how to say, no, I'm talking about all Latinos, right? People from Andes, Sierra are special. But basically they are just very joyful, they like good food, good sex, good life, and so on, okay? And connected to money and matter, and so on. And money, matter, is the element of earth. So earth and water, they are in that. And that makes men, yes, they are macho, in the sense that they are kinda, they like to show off their body. They want to be pleased. They want to be, how to say, they want others to, even my husband, yeah, they want others to, they just ask women, so how do you like my muscles, and so on. And, you know, this is rare that a white man will talk to the woman, how do you like my muscles? Yeah, it happens. But normally it's like they kinda know I'm the best, and they will just not talk about it, because it will be like below his it will be like he would not have respect for themselves to ask so that somebody tells him that he's the best or perfect. So it's not really, it's rare. But right now with those feminized men, yeah, it happens, right? They even put the makeup. And here I've seen much more of that. And the mixture of macho men, in the sense they will have those muscles and go to the gym, but at the same time they will, for example, put their makeup, or they just shape their beard, I don't know, which is to us, especially Slavic people, which is weird, right? Still right now it's weird. It's like Polish, Russian, Slovakian people, we are not exactly the same as Western Europe, which means that here people, Latinos, they don't really know so much. Slavic people, maybe Russians, but not much. They know German men. They are not exactly, they used to be very powerful and strong, but not anymore, I would say. But, okay, Latinos, it's such an interesting mixture in a man of that macho, but he's like very much to show off, but this can be positive. Simply, he's so much connected to his body. And it's like I was talking about those carnivals, right? In Brazil, for example, it's all South America. They just want to show off, but in the sense, yes, to show off, but also simply to show themselves. And it's a part of their being proud of my body, right? But what I'm saying is that the white mentality and those, especially Slavic women, I think we are. At first, it's a shock, I think, because we think at first that macho means that you are strong and mentally strong as well. I wouldn't say it's the case, because I think that here in Latino world and all native world maybe, women are very strong. And that's what I said, for example, Maria Gimbutas about native cultures, that it was the matriarchat and this woman in those shapes, pramatka, how do you say, great-grandmother or pachamama, this is the archetype for the whole culture. So it means that white people are more tending to be patriarchal, and those people, native people, Latino people, they tend to be matriarchal, in the sense that not exactly that they treat their wife exactly like a mother, but as well, I said, right, mommy, papi, but in the sense that they keep big families. They tend to live together in one house or close, and the big say has the mother, but not each woman, but the big mother, in the sense the mother of the family. So it can be the big mother, right? The oldest woman in the family, right? And it can be the mom, the mother of all the sons, okay, of the son. And in that sense, those sons are very much connected to their mothers still. And I think right now, when what comes here is the feminism. The feminism comes here. And I think maybe this feminism doesn't, mujer empoderada, no? This feminism doesn't touch so much the coast, doesn't touch so much the Amazonian selva, jungle, but I think it touches the Andes and Sierra, because those women, here in Andes, the life is difficult, still. And it's cold and it's difficult, and in provincia, the provincial parts, I think still is difficult and it's cold. So women, you will not see many women in dresses and in skirts, which you can see that in the coast, and you can see that in the selva, because I think it's hot. But those women in the Andes, they only depends, right? In Huancavelica, maybe in South Andes, they still are traditional, and especially I think I've seen in Bolivia and Chile in videos that they keep on putting the dress, the skirt, traditional skirt, all the time, because they really say, and here only when I live, only grandmothers say that, because my Mother Earth heals me when I have the skirt, right? But young women don't put dresses so much. They don't have that spiritual consciousness right now. They kind of get very much feminist, and this is not so good. But this is, I would say, yeah, one thing is that maybe it's cold, but the thing is what they put on their body, the jeans or other stuff, it doesn't really warm, I would say. It's just for the fashion, and because they think that they look better than in the skirt, which is not true from our point of view of Slavic women, which we are very much feminine. And yeah, but those women are, I would say, when they enter in that also the working world, because they go to work a lot, young people study, then they work, and then you can say that families get disconnected, and all that is not so good for all the idea of traditional society and so on. But that makes for men to be more feminine, I would say, but in the sense that like because see, if everything is in feminine energy, and it was good because it was traditional, but the mother of the family was strong, but other women were kind of okay, right? The couples. But right now, when all those women who are already very strong in this archetype of work and earth and matter, and like my husband, for example, say, okay, who keeps the money each month? The woman. I say, what? I can keep my money and you keep our money. But they don't understand that, right? Because the woman here is connected to the matter, and for them money is matter. Normally in philosophy, money, because you kind of need to do the plan to use it, money and work outside of the house is in the masculine energy, and here they do everything close to their house normally. Sometimes people also travel, but normally they want to stay connected in this locality and so on, so everything is kind of interchanged, like here is a child, here I have my business. So because woman is so much connected to the matter, Mother Earth, Pachamama, she gives the money, and it's more or less like this. It's not the same concept with God, and we need to understand what I want to say, finishing that everybody now talks about feminine and masculine energy. I just want to say that be careful, especially for mixed marriages, I will talk about it more, it's not the same. White people have different mentality and we work differently in energy. I know that we are mixed, genetics is mixed, but if you live in a civilization of Europe or America, you are kind of more in a masculine energy, women also, naturally, but women over there it's true, those women need to go back to feminine energy, right? And men need to go back to masculine energy. But here it's a little different process. All those people, they are just simply in this feminine energy all the time. And I don't know if they need to change anything. Let's see, right? They just kind of getting open. They slowly open themselves to the broader world, to alternative ideas, to everything what we do since, I don't know, like they are because those people here, they are what I like here, that they are here and now, and they are connected very much to their culture of this territory and so on. But they are, for example, not so much for their international culture, or for example, they listen to their music, and they are not so much listening to much of the European music and classical music and so on. You will not have that, okay, because they are here, they are very much deep inside themselves. They are feminine feminine, but in the sense of Pachamama, right? But yeah, it makes problems when you've got a white person with a native person from here, Latino, because there are conflicts. And yeah, maybe I will talk about it later. But macho man, it's not really the strong man that we think of white person, like the type of Slavic or Germanic, right? That's not exactly it. It's a different different way of life, I would say. So be careful in relationships. And women here are also different. I think that women from the Andes are very strong, simply because they have no choice, I would say, because the life is here is difficult. It's not like it was used to be, but it's difficult and it's cold and it's high and so on, right? So they are just very resilient. And all people here like that, and I didn't talk about that. And it's, I know that right now we are so politically correct. I'm not politically correct. If you don't watch me, don't want to watch me, just don't watch me. I, for example, am saying that philosophy and energy makes you look something. So, for example, I think white people, for good or bad, they are kind of connected to the heaven. And so their body is kind of taller, whiter, whitish, and lighter. And because we also don't like so much sun initially, right? And we didn't support so much sun, and we don't still. We just get old quickly, much more quicker than those people. Like we, especially if you will go and also stress yourself a lot. But if you go and put on makeup, but it's also tan, right? Sunburn, then you will get old quicker. And our normally we have all thinner and we are thinner, because we are adapted to the north when there is not so much sun. That's it. And we can come to sun from time to time, but we are adapted to cold. That's why I think it's Slavic people normally should be well adapted to Andes, much more than any other okay, Western European, I would say, because they mostly want to live in the coast and in the selva. We just that's what I think, right? That's what I feel. I feel well. But we are just thinner, and I would even say that we are taller, and our bones are different. And I can even see that in my husband, who doesn't really look like a typical Latino, because typical Latinos people, they have shapes and their bones are heavier. But that's, I would say, that goes to say about all people of Turkish, Mongolish, and from the Asia, both Americas. Yes, can be taller, can be smaller, but they are just, I would say, well adapted to the earth. They are stronger bones. They have black hair, much more tanned skin, and that's for they are adapted. They are adapted to this territory, mostly to the territory of the earth, most territories of the earth, except for the north, pole north. That's what I say. That's what I see, and that's correct. That's good. That's normal, I would say. Yeah. So if somebody will tell you that those people, because white people who live at the coast, they, yeah, each other, they critique, they just get, I would say, in South America, Africa, there's a conflict still of mentality. We need to understand each other's. It's that native people, Latino people, the Peruvian people, they are connected to the matter, body, Pachamama, the ground, the tierra, the earth, cherishing the earth, connected to the cycle, natural cycle, and they are, their conscious is over there, especially women. They are conscious from the point of view of their vagina, okay? From their cycles, from their body, and they are conscious over there. Yeah, they also exaggerate because they want to improve their body, just like white people want to improve eternally their mind, and they kind of destroy the body, right? Because we do. Those people here, they are also very much conscious, like what are the limits. I would say they have the clock inside their body. What is the time for sleep, right? What is the time for food? White people are like, well, it can be, now, some people are connected to some hours, but like in the sense of custom. That's my lunch, that's my tea time. But if you ask them, like, are you hungry? That's not really that. And here people are like naturally connected to their body or their cycles. And yeah, maybe it's because the sun is more visible, I don't know, but that's how it is. So those people here are connected to the nature, they cherish it, they live in that order, in that cycle. And I think that this is very positive, and I wouldn't want it to change. We need to learn that from them, and because they're conscious of their body, and we white people are much more conscious of our mind, right? Mind, right? Mind, spirituality. But those are those two differences. Here, native people have shamanism, and that's their consciousness. That's their consciousness through the energy of the earth. They are spiritual. And we are much more spiritual, because the idea, I'm ecologist, I'm whatever, those are ideas more in white people than really being here and now. This is difficult. We need to learn it to be here and now, and to be in a cycle, and to be grounded. They don't need to learn it. They just have it. That's it. They just have it. And that's how we need to learn. And but they should also to learn to open themselves, like, because they see closely, like feminine, like a feminine energy here, okay? Just here and now, today. They want to do plan, but also they don't want much to change, to mejorar. They don't want to do better. And white people want too much, change all the time, okay? All the time, better, 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 but like too much better, it can come worse, right? And that's imperialism and control, and all the agenda we've got comes from there, that many white people just want to so much better, 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 that they came too far from nature, too much in civilization, too much separated from nature, from their body, from the pure, simple acceptance of your body just as it is. And I think we are just accepting too much everything which is civilization, which those people don't do that. They kind of see rules, they do what they should to do, but they kind of live in their, Polish people a little has it too. I would say, okay, you talk, I don't know, mascarilla, whatever. And most people kind of do what they used to do. What their fathers told them, they just keep on doing. That's what I'm saying. They listen more to their body or to their families than to, for example, some specialists, external, right? And to their authorities. There are lots of corruption and so on, but the people kind of, it doesn't change also because they kind of live in their bubble here and now, right? And this, I think, need to change. Okay. So if you want to see women, Latino women with their body, I think you should go to Costa, to the coast, because they walk like this. Or if not in Andes, you need to come maybe to the provincia, and in the time of the feast, you will see all the beautiful, they've got so beautiful outfits that's made by hand, really made by hand, right? And it's really true, traditional, not from China, and they have it, but you will not see it in Andes every day. No, it's like 99% of women are in some kind of trousers, which is not always good looking, kind of. And you can go to the Amazon, to Selva, and women over there also have dresses, right? They are very feminine, but there's another, maybe I will talk about it later, because I think everybody who is women who are in very much in this feminine energy, like masculine energy, is not only good. There are so other stuff. So, for example, one quality of feminine energy is this manipulation, manipulative. Okay, so they are very seductive, and they are very. There are lots of divorces here as well, especially in mixed couples. And but anyway, women are getting feminists, so they get divorced, and there's lots of as well, just like in white world, lots of betrayal, right? I think more here than in Slavic world, but yeah. Okay, that's all from me. 10% of battery. Next time about couples, mixed couples, and the couples, parejas.